So now we're hearing it was a Medevac jet that crashed in Philadelphia, man. And it was carrying a pediatric patient, bro. Like, all lives are important. Just hearing that it was a pediatric patient it just does something to you, bro. So again, another prayers and condolences to families. I feel like we're saying that a lot now, but we're going to get into everything, man. So before we do, you know how this goes. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
Good evening, I'm Abby Phillip, and we begin with breaking news tonight. Another plane has crashed in another American city, and this time it is Philadelphia. I want to reset what we know at this hour. We are told a twin-engine Medevac jet took off from a local airport en route to Missouri. That plane reached 1,600 feet after takeoff before plunging 11,000 feet per minute. 6 people were on board, including a child patient. Here is another look at the crash as it happened.
She's still hanging.
You saw there the jet plummeting almost like a missile out of the sky before an explosion. It landed in a busy section of the city near a mall. It's unknown whether there are any casualties on the ground. Here, though, is how one witness described the scene.
I was in shock. I'm still in shock. Like, this is insane. Why can this happen? And before that, to be honest, in my mind, I thought, like, what if the rocket would, because I'm from Ukraine, right? And there's war. There's always rockets coming in and stuff like that. And then I see, like, things flying. Like, no way, the war started again? You know, and you say, you never know.
That just goes to show you right there how many people have PTSD from everything going on. Soon as something happened, they're associated with everything. Everyone has PTSD right now.
Here's the conversation also that we have now obtained from the air traffic control tower. Listen.
Medevac Med Service, Northeast Tower. Medevac Med Service 056, Northeast Tower. You on frequency?
We have a lost aircraft. We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out.
Let's go straight to Philadelphia, where Councilman Mike Driscoll, who represents that area, is with us now. Councilman, thank you very much for joining us. I know this is a very active scene. There was just a briefing with other city officials, but I want to ask you directly about that plane, 6 people on it, according to the company. Do you believe that there are any survivors on that aircraft?
Well, Abby, I can't say for sure, but it doesn't look good. It's a sad situation we have here in Northeast Philadelphia. We were only celebrating a couple of days ago, you know, our football team's success, and now we have this tonight. And it looks like not only the people that won that plane and the person that needed medical help, they seem to be people that were doing the Lord's work. And now we have our first responders out there in mass. Our governor, our mayor, you know, all doing all they can to not only the folks that were on that plane, but we are afraid there's more casualties on the ground. We don't know yet. It's going to take some time. We have to have some patience. We have to let our first responders do their job, but we're very nervous.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for a second. Can you tell us about the scene there, where this plane went down? Our understanding is that there might be cars involved, homes involved as well. Do you have a sense of what was impacted by either the direct crash or the subsequent fireball that we see in all of these videos?
We believe this happened.
So it appears the plane went down into a parking lot area where there were cars, stores. Just across the street, as you mentioned, there's a giant mall with many, many, many stores.
Yeah, so you got to pretty much hold your breath until you figure out if there are any more other than the people that were on the plane. When you hear a parking lot, how often you go in a parking lot and not see any people? You know? You don't see too many abandoned parking lots in a mall area. You know, you just, man, just prayers, bro. It seems like this is just too much.
And then right beyond the stores on both sides, we have residential neighborhoods. And I think what the video you just showed was a house very close that was getting a delivery, and all of a sudden the explosion hit. So what we're going with our first responders now is door to door to see if anybody in those homes were actually, injured or worse.
And as of right now, do you know if anyone has been transported with any injuries at all to hospitals or other facilities?
Abby, there's first responders vehicles moving in and out, whether they're taking them to the hospital or just responding to the homes or to the businesses or to the folks that were actually in the cars when that plane hit that sort of parking lot area. We suspect a lot will be going on as the evening progresses.
And in terms of the fire, our understanding is that the fire is being described as under control, but is there still fire burning? Are there still kind of active parts of this scene that are being dealt with from a fire perspective?
Absolutely. We have a wonderful fire department here. By the way, the first fire department in the United States of America. We have a highly trained first responder unit. And so, they're putting the fires out. But as you can imagine, there's those tinders that are always active that the first responders and the police have to make sure that they don't become a problem when the wind hits them. And they're also near vehicles that still have fuel in them. So, we're nervous is the word, but confident that our wonderful governor, our wonderful mayor, and our wonderful first responders will get this under control and keep the casualties to a minimum.
All right, Councilman Mike Driscoll, we're going to keep close with you as we try to continue to get updates throughout the night. Thank you very much, and I'm thinking about and praying for your community tonight.
Well, thank you, Abby. Thanks for having us on.
We have this new video just into CNN. You can hear the explosion happening in this video. Listen.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! What the? Oh my God! Oh my God! La ilaha illallah! There's a plane, bro! It's a plane!
Shock and panic in that man's voice. Joining us now to discuss this, CNN aviation analyst Miles O'Brien, as well as aviation lawyer Justin Green. Both of them are pilots. Justin, I want to start with you for a second here. Look, this is a very seemingly unusual situation. The plane seems to just fall right out of the sky. What do you think happened here?
I mean, it's.
Is it unusual? I mean, I hate to say that, but is it? Because at this point, we're starting to see this way too often. Every time I spoke about not getting on a plane, somebody would hit me with those statistics of how often do you see these incidences happening. You're more likely to experience a collision in a car, you know what I mean, than having something in the sky. But now, what's those statistics now? I get it. I could be just overreacting, but it just feels like this is too much happening.
It's a little early to say, what caused it, but what you described earlier was like, it looked like a missile, and I think that's exactly what it was. It was an aircraft that was completely out of control, and it came down like a missile. And unlike the crash in DC, this happened in a populated area. The DC accident happened in the Potomac, and I think that's going to be, part of what we're going to be looking at is, are there survivors on the ground? Just a horrible, horrible night for America.
Absolutely, and a horrible night capping a horrible week for this country. Miles, I want to talk about what we've learned tonight, which is that this flight was actually only in the air for about 40 seconds. 40 seconds. And we were just playing the air traffic control audio just moments ago, and they didn't get a response from that cockpit. What do you think that indicates?
This plane was in trouble from the start, Abby. We don't know, of course, yet what was going on. Just a little context here. Medevac flying particularly with helicopters. In this case, of course, fixed wing. But medevac flying is among the most dangerous sectors of aviation there is because of the nature of the mission. The crews are often under pressure to save a life, frankly. They are oftentimes flying at night in bad weather. They often land in unfamiliar short landing strips. There's a lot of reasons that is the case. So medevac flying is a tough one. This aircraft, the Learjet 55, this one was built in 1981. It's commonly used for this purpose. It's about the right size, has good range and good speed. Now, what happened?
Now, what we used to call ours, or I don't know if they still call it that or use that, they probably do. Ours was called Air Evac, not Medevac. It was Air Evac. And yes, they do have to land, because you think about it, typically where these things happen, where collisions happen or where incidences happen to where it's not the typical place like out in the open somewhere. So they do have to find a spot. They usually coordinate with somebody on the ground as to a location of where they can get to. And then the people try to transport that person, either meet them somewhere, get them there, or some kind of way get that person over there to them, and then they go. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the conditions aren't always great. The weather definitely always isn't permissible, but this is. So thinking about that, yes, they have one of the most dangerous. They're trying to avoid power lines and different things and landing in different spots. And it's a tough. So when you actually think about it, he's exactly right, bro. I never really thought about it like that.
Happened immediately after takeoff. We, of course, don't know, and it'll be a long time before we figure this one out. But this is an aircraft that was clearly not responding to the control inputs of the crew. What could cause that? Was there some hydraulic failure of some kind, which made it impossible for them to move the aero surfaces? Probably unlikely. It was not great weather on departure. Was there an instrument failure which caused them to lose their orientation? When you're flying through the clouds, you're relying on your instruments to maintain your situational awareness, and it can be very confusing if you lose that. Was there something in that pre-flight checklist that was overlooked that turned out to be quite crucial? We do know this, though. This type of aircraft operating under these circumstances will have a cockpit voice recorder and a flight data recorder. Now, it's a tremendous impact and explosion. We can only hope that they are designed to survive this kind of thing, but let's hope they do survive so we can get some answers as to what happened here.
Yeah.
With the weather being what it was, I wonder if it was struck by lightning. You think that's a possibility? Because we saw like a fireball happen right before it hit and made impact on ground and then exploded, right? Looked like it was a fireball first. So do you think it was possibly that could have been struck by lightning?
Yeah, I mean, that will be critical at this stage. Justin, the plane seemed to begin to descend around 1,600 feet.
Right.
What is happening at that altitude?
They're basically on departure. So they're honestly, at that altitude, they should be climbing out and having a relatively normal flight. As Miles just said, though, these flights are almost like angel flights. The people doing them are looking out for the interest of the passenger who's someone who needs medical attention. I think one of the questions in any of these crashes is what kind of medical attention does this person need, and what kind of emergency situation are they facing? Is this just a normal flight, or are they really trying to get this person somewhere so they can get emergency medical treatment? However, as Miles said, this airplane lost control. So whether it's a hydraulics issue, whether it's a trim issue, meaning they lost the ability to control the airplane, I think that's likely what happened here.
I have a flight this morning. I've never been this paranoid about flying ever. And I love to travel. I travel for work. I travel for leisure. But right now, I don't think I have faith in the aviation system. Like something is going wrong. The passenger plane crash with those 60 plus people, I think 67, and then another 4 from the helicopter that lost their lives on Thursday was already enough for me to say, you know, this is an unfortunate situation and also something that just makes no sense to me. And to also wake up at like 6 a.m. this morning and see another small plane crash in Philadelphia. Thoughts and prayers, please send it. I'm not one to get nervous about things, but right now I am like, yeah. Apart from that, this trip has been fun. I am finally heading back to the US after 3 weeks here in Europe for work. And I don't really know what I'm particularly excited about coming back right now, but we have to. Also, I was seeing this crazy thing about the skating team. So apparently that exact skating team, they had an accident like this before in Brussels, which is the airport that I'm leaving from today, in 1961.
No wonder I was seeing like the movie Final Destination was like trending on something. I was hearing about it with that, and then like the people that Trump had pardoned. I kept seeing the association with Final Destination, because everybody he's pardoned, something has happened. So that movie was like, maybe it wasn't trending, but I kept seeing it a lot.
Where the entire team perished in a similar flight scenario. So yeah, I'm leaving from Brussels airport, and apparently all flights were grounded on Thursday. Well, the accident happened Thursday night in the US, or it happened Thursday morning, I believe, in the US, or late Wednesday night, or maybe it's late Thursday night. Either way, shortly after that plane crash happened in the US with that entire figure skating team, there was a glitch in the system at the airport in Brussels, the exact place that the team from 60 years ago, there was a glitch in the system and all flights had to be rerouted to other airports. Doesn't that sounds weird. Anyway, apparently things are running smoothly at Brussels airport now, so I am just praying that everything goes well, that I get home safely, and yeah. That's it.
Are told a medical plane was going from Philadelphia to Springfield, Missouri. It left the Northeast Philadelphia airport and not long after crashed into the neighborhood. The United States Secretary of Transportation said there were 6 people on the plane at the time of the crash. According to a statement from Jet Rescue Air Ambulance, the 6 people were 4 crew members, a pediatric patient, and a patient's escort. We are told the pediatric patient had just finished treatment in Philadelphia and was being taken back to Mexico.
Yeah, something ain't right. Something's off. You know how they say we be jumping timelines and stuff like that? I don't like this timeline that we jump to. We need to go back, or we need to go forward, or whatever it is, but we need to get off this path and trajectory timeline that we on now. We need to get off of this one. I don't like this one, bro. Why are spiders just raining down out of the sky, all of those skies? No,
flying through the sky. There's been like 8, 9 of them. Here's another one coming in. We're in Missoula. Can you see that orange glow in the sky? There's like tons of these flying through the sky, and they're moving like no tomorrow. What the hell are they? Those are not shooting stars, baby.
I promise you they're not. They're going low and they're flying high.
Yep, there's like tons of them coming through. They're too close to be being planes.
Yes, the orbs are still everywhere, by the way, in our skies, with a lot happening in our skies. You would think if the FAA approved that, they would say, you know what, let's cancel all of these things that we have going on, especially with everything going on in the skies, the collisions, the crashes, all this type of stuff. You would think so. So that lets me know that seemed like it was a lie to us. It seems like they have no control because they ain't went nowhere. They're still here. We're seeing them. And the orbs don't look nothing like a drone.
I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office from President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity.
So there's an ongoing ban right now that's happening in the United States with the Mang Tomas, banana ketchup, and bagoong alamang. So let's check it out and see if it's actually true. Bagoong alamang, or the shrimp paste, are no longer available in the shelf of supermarkets. Yeah, they really took it out. No more bagoong alamang. And also the banana ketchup and Mang Tomas got banned as well. So no more banana ketchup or Mang Tomas either. I definitely cannot find anywhere in the store. So yep, I think it's actually happening. So there's an on.
And either stuff is just not being well, stuff is being banned, absolutely, but people also are stocking up too. People are stocking up. That's all I keep seeing is people saying they're going to the grocery store. This stuff is getting banned. They want it before it gets banned, so obviously some people don't care. And then also with the tariffs, people are worried about prices going up with the tariffs, so they're stocking up on their favorite items.
These foods and drinks are banned in other countries, but not in the U.S. Fanta. Some varieties are banned in Norway and the European Union due to them containing artificial dyes that are linked to hyperactivity and behavioral issues in children. Wheat Thins.
I blame part of my orange soda drinking on Kenan and Kel growing up, and Kel loving orange soda kind of like brainwashed me a little bit. I was already drinking Fantas, but I felt like that heightened it a little bit. Yeah.
These are banned in Japan and European countries because they contain the synthetic antioxidant BHT. Frosted Flakes. These are banned in Algeria and Madagascar because they contain a bioengineered food ingredient, which is another term for GMO, which is genetically modified. And by the way, this is actually a terrible source of vitamins and minerals. Chlorinated.
But they put that on the box to make us feel like we're doing something when all the while it's a lie. Like, how many times did we say, but it's got the vitamins and the minerals, and you know how many times I've read that cereal box? I never read the ingredients, but I always read the stuff on the back while I ate several bowls of cereal before going to school.
Chlorinated chicken. Yes, this is actually dumped in chlorine. Chlorinated chicken is actually banned in Canada and the European Union. Comment down below why you think these aren't banned in the US. Stay cognizant and follow the page for more health content.
Why am I just hearing that Tom Brady is single-handedly about to ruin the Super Bowl? So it's rumors going around that Tom Brady is letting the world know that the owner of the Chiefs, his wife, has been paying referees off all this time. And when I say paying referees off, allegedly, he's saying that she's paid referees millions. And to be exact, she paid referees millions to win that last AFC game. Mind you, the proof that he's saying that he has, he's saying it's gonna stick. He's saying it's the truth. He's basically saying that they've been cheating. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. I stopped watching football a long time ago. but this is one of the reasons. I hear people are calling the NFL the new age WWE. Now, on the other hand, a lot of people are saying that Tom is hating because he don't want Patrick Mahomes to do something that he ain't never did before. And that's win 3 Super Bowls straight. I'll tell you this much. If any of this is true, y'all can kiss the Super Bowl goodbye. And honestly, a lot of people have been saying for years that the NFL is rigged. And if these allegations have any truth, the NFL might be over. I don't think Taylor Swift gonna be able to get Travis Kelce out of this one. I mean, but look at it like this. If it is true, and they do have to cancel the Super Bowl, a lot of y'all won't have to buy pizza and wings. I'm out. Why am I just hearing that?
That's the irony in that, though. With the whole Deflategate situation and everything, that's interesting to hear that possibly coming from Tom Brady. You know what I mean? But a lot of people have felt like this. They felt like they've been cheating. They feel like the NFL is scripted. So this ain't gonna do nothing but amp them up even more.
This morning, we're beginning to see the faces and hear the stories of the 67 lives lost in that fiery crash over the Potomac. Flight 5342's first officer, Samuel Lilly, was just 29 years old and newly engaged. Tiffany Gibson telling ABC News her little brother was a kind soul.
He was young, he was so young, and he was excited about life and his future and getting a dog and a house and kids, and this is just tragic.
Ian Epstein, one of 2 flight attendants on board, was a father and husband. His family saying in a statement he loved being a flight attendant because he truly enjoyed traveling and meeting new people, but his true love was his family. Elizabeth Keys being remembered as a strong, fearless woman who embraced life at full speed. She was killed on her 33rd birthday, returning home early from a business trip so she could go on a date with her longtime partner, David. Kia Duggins, a civil rights attorney, set to become a professor at Howard University Law School in the fall. Howard saying that Duggins dedicated her career to fighting against unconstitutional policing and unjust money bail practices. And U.S. figure skating mourning the loss of at least 14 athletes, coaches, and family members who are returning from a training camp. 12-year-old Brielle Beyer, a cancer survivor, was with her mother, Justina. Andy Beyer telling me his daughter Brielle could light up any room.
She was just such a fighter in everything she did, and she just lived life to the fullest with everything. She was so proud of herself in figure skating, and I will miss that so much.
Spencer Lane, killed along with his mom Christine, was a 16-year-old figure skating phenom. His father Doug says he was unstoppable.
He's was a force of nature. He just had amazing athletic abilities and just was someone who you couldn't make him do something, but if he was like, hey, that's interesting to me, you couldn't stop him.
Married Boston Skating Club coaches and former world champions Zhenya Shishkova and Vadim Nomov, seen here competing in 1996. Friends calling their deaths a tremendous loss for the skating community.
Just one of a kind. They cared about their athletes and were world champions themselves, and they were just champions in life.